It's fair to say, Rick, that the Joker movie has probably been one of the most anticipated films of the year, without doubt.
Yes.
I mean, it's one of those movies that certainly promised something very different in the realm of the superhero genre.
Yep.
And certainly all the trailers that we had seen leading up to the movie didn't definitely sell this was going to be a darker film.
No.
And they were going in a far more serious tone. And Rick, mate, your first impressions when you walked out of seeing that movie, do you think they achieved what they were trying to sell their public?
Yes.
Yeah.
For me, it was such a beautiful, amazing film. It was so much going on, and when I left the cinema, I just had so many questions. I didn't know which direction I was going to go, and thinking all about it, and it's just refreshing to see such a great movie in the cinemas now at this time.
Yeah, look, I would definitely agree with that. I think the film, it's one of those movies that's almost, occasionally you'll get a film that'll transcend its genre and becomes like a movie like Aliens. A movie like Aliens, not just an action film, it becomes something more, it becomes this iconic film. And I think this film in particular has transcended its own genre. It's gone from just being a movie set in a superhero universe to something more.
It has.
Rick, I said to you when I walked out of the film, as the credits were rolling yesterday in the cinema, I was as you remember, I was very excited about what I had seen. I clearly enjoyed the movie. And like I said, it wasn't a movie to me. I said,
no, it's a
film. Yeah. And that's probably the best compliment I can give this movie, is it's actually a film. It's at a higher level than most things you see.
I guess, and you're right, and you look at it, it's not a traditional, this is not a comic book movie at all, okay? This is more of a adaptation of the Joker, but in more real life. Yeah. And that's how they put it. Yeah. And, I mean, Todd Phillips just absolutely nailed this.
Yeah. When in a career that has been up and down, no doubt. I mean, he started amazingly well early in his career with The Hangover, but
it's just all comics. All comedy movies that he's directed.
Absolutely. Look, the film itself, and it deals with, I think what you bring up a point before about how it could be set more of a real kind of universe. If that movie was not set in Gotham City, and there was no reference to Thomas Wayne or anything else like that, this movie would be amazing nonetheless. It only because it is attached to the DC universe that it just adds that little icing to the cake. But why this film is so great, it is just a great film on its own. Yeah. And it is a comment on society. And it's not just a comment on our current society, it's a comment on modern society in general over the last 40 and 50 years. This film is heavily influenced by 1970s New York, the way the style was done. In fact, it's set in the late 70s. And in that time in the late 70s in New York, that's what it was like. People were rude to it. There was a lot of violence,
crime,
and things like that. Yeah. And obviously in this modern day, with all the gun violence that we're seeing and all the horrible things that are happening in the world, it definitely made comment without jamming it down your throat. And mate, you've got to talk about Joaquin here, don't we?
Oh, look, it's straight off the bat. If he doesn't get an Oscar for this,
he needs
cancel the Oscars.
A nomination,
it's something
minimum.
He needs a nomination, something,
but he should win it.
I
haven't seen a better performance this year.
Amazing, phenomenal, and you really draw yourself into that character. Watching a film, and that's what films are for. He really gets you involved into this character, and you feel for this character.
Oh, you do, without question. You go on that emotional journey with him. So, as his life is continuing to break down, because when we first meet Arthur Fleck, his life is already falling apart.
That's right.
And we're starting to see it degrade more and more and more and more. And it's, it's riveting to watch. And it's not just an emotional performance he gives. His physical performance he clearly lost a lot of weight.
Well, he lost
his skeletal almost physique.
He lost 52 pounds for the role, which is about 23 kilos. But he looked so skin and bone. But he was saying that he could move his body in certain ways, which showed on screen.
Yeah, which showed.
Yeah.
You could see there were times he was certainly doing poses and that to kind of reflect what was also happening in the scene, which was incredible. And there's no doubt about it. He drives this entire movie.
Yeah.
It's his key character, as much as we have supporting characters, and wonderful performance by Zazie Beetz. We've got Robert De Niro in there, a little cameo by Mark Maron also. Really, at the end of the day, we are wholly and solely focused on Arthur's journey, and it is what a breakdown we're into. Now, I want to address the violence.
Yep,
there has been a lot of talk,
controversy
around this movie about the violence, that the assumption that it may incite violence, that it might get people copying and things like that. This movie has some extreme violence. But it is not as violent as your typical Marvel film.
Okay, so let's just go back and look at... Okay, this movie has a lot of influence with Taxi Driver and King of Comedy and all those type of movies.
It's a
Martin Scorsese feel to it, right? Taxi Driver has way more violence and way more than what this has. You
think?
Yeah.
I think Taxi Driver is like Joker.
Yeah.
I'm thinking actually it's got more or less violence than your typical Marvel film that we go and see.
Okay, well then look at Deadpool. Why Deadpool was 1 and 2, a lot of violence there.
Yeah.
But the difference is Deadpool made fun of it. Right? Here, Joaquin, the Joker, enjoyed it.
It was that journey of it's the fact that when the violence did happen in there was a lot of emotional context of what was happening on the scene, and it showed, at key points when the violence throughout the movie is happening, Rick, it is happening to service the story so we can understand why Arthur has turned and why things have gone apart. So, and you're right, when he does go out and does commit these acts of violence, and he says it in the film, the discovery for him, the fact that he thought he would feel bad about it and he doesn't.
He doesn't, no.
And then that kind of leads. That's right. Moves him forward towards becoming that iconic character. You can see it
in that first scene when he's in the subway and he kills those 3 guys.
Yeah, early on in the movie. Well, in the first half an hour or so. Yeah, well, you see it,
He enjoyed it.
I don't know if he enjoyed it at that moment, but by the end of it, he's definitely enjoying what he's doing, which is essentially part of the Joker, is not?
Well, that's right.
The Joker enjoys what he does in the end. Look, it does live up to the hype. It does live up to the audience hype, because currently on Rotten Tomatoes, things sitting at 69%.
That's Rotten
which also highlights too that the audience rating's at 91%. So we again a disparity there. So, I mean, at the end of the day, the general feel for this movie is it's a masterpiece.
It's cinematic masterpiece.
And you know what, Rick? I've got to say this, and anyone who's followed the channel for the last couple of years will be able to understand.
Exactly
I've got to say, I've been screaming about these type of films for a couple of years. I've always said DC made a mistake by doing a shared universe. They need to focus on individual Elseworld stories. And do you know why, Rick? Because the Joker is why. Is because you get that type of quality film. You're not focused on trying to copy a Marvel brand. You're just doing the stories that you want. And it's paid off in such a big bad way with this film. So I hope, for one, DC continue along this pathway.
Oh yeah, and you notice there was no DC logo or anything when the movie started. No,
absolutely good point. I hadn't even thought about it. Just
when they opened up the shop, you see the Warner Brothers old style 80s.
Well, it's definitely. I mean, they filmed the movie in a 4:3 aspect ratio, which is a bit of a squarer style, to give you a bit more of a larger, taller canvas, but also to reflect back to those old cinematic days. Well, one of my favourite things was seeing the old 70s Warner Brother logo.
Yeah, it was popping up right there.
Yeah, because it set the tone, it set the time.
And that went through right to the end as well.
I mean, like, the style that he's adopted, I mean, there's no doubt, like you mentioned before, it's Scorsese inspired.
It is.
And it is the right way to tell this story, I think, is to do it in that way, in that style.
What do you think of the end? What do you...
There is no theory to the
end.
Right. Like this whole theory conspiracy that it's somehow he's always been in the psychiatrist's office the whole time.
He's been locked up.
Mate, we're not there. No. No, because that's ridiculous. It's to me, it is what it is. We saw his evolution, and at the end of it, when he's in the shrink, because he'd been caught.
So, but okay.
But I think that's about 2 or 3 years later after. And he's now the Joker.
We don't know because he lives in a fantasy realm.
Well,
we don't know
Batman
what's real.
Universe, Joker gets locked up all the time, dude, and he escapes all the time.
So the flashback, you remember that original flashback? He's talking to the social worker, and then he flashbacks, and he's in a cell, and he hits his head. He's all in white.
Yeah.
And it goes back.
No, I still don't buy that.
Yeah, but this is what's good about this movie because everyone, it's up to the audience.
Mate, you can turn around and go through that scene in the end. Is him thinking again? Because that scene in the beginning, that flashback, could have been a flash to the inside of his own brain.
Don't know.
We don't know. At the end of the day,
how good it is.
I'm taking it. I'm not actually interested in delving into the theory side of it because this. I think it actually is a disservice to the movie to go into that too much. Yeah. This movie is pure gold from beginning to end, Rick.
It is.
I mean, it's my favourite film of the year, without question. In a year of Avengers Endgame, The Joker is my favourite film of the year so far. Now, we have, there's only one other movie that could threaten that coming up, and that would be Star Wars. And at this point, I don't think Star Wars is going to get anywhere near the love that I have. For this movie, because this movie is exceptional.
I mean, and you're right, this movie is exceptional. They hit everything on point. Everything from start to finish. The directing, the writing, the acting, everything was spot on. Even the music just hit it in certain spots. It was just... The pace of the movie was really good as well. It wasn't a fast-paced movie.
That was a concern, was the pacing, because people have these memories of 70s Scorsese cinema. They have these memories of what Taxi Driver was and what Mean Streets was and what King of Comedy was. They're actually quite slow movies. Yeah. And it takes a lot of patience for today's audience to be able to watch those type of films.
Yeah.
This film did change the pacing quite a bit to keep it moving constantly. It's a 2-hour film, and I think it doesn't feel like it goes too long.
And you really need to it's one of those movies you really need to just sit there and really take it all in.
Oh, yeah.
There's so much that's happening, and the direction where they're going to go. Do you think they're going to do a sequel? Do you think they're going to?
No, and they should leave it. They should. They leave it. That's it. Done.
That's it.
Boom! You did it. You made an amazing Joker movie. Don't need no sequel.
Yeah.
Don't need to enter shots of Batman or none of that crap. All right, you've done the movie. It's over, and that's what I'm looking forward to too, Rick.
Yeah.
Why do we have to sequelize everything? We made a great movie. It's there forever now. Enjoy it. Just watch it again, all right? But as for this movie, Rick, it's clearly, rating it, mate, I don't give films 10 out of 10.
No.
So it's not a 10 out of 10. But it's a 9.5, without question. It's a real high 9.5. Maybe even a 9.6, 7, 8, 9.
It's up there.
It's up there. I need time because I'm so in love, infatuated with this film at this point.
Yeah.
I will need time, months and months and months of rewatching it to see where it really sits in my pantheon. But what a hell of a time I had at the cinema. What a great movie. How about you, Rick? What do you rate
Look, I totally agree with you, everything you say, Jace. Yeah, look, it is definitely up there for sure. It's up there in the 9s, high 9s, 9.5 up there.
Yeah.
For me, it was just so refreshing to see that on a big screen, and it just delivered. That movie delivered. And the performance from Joaquin is what made this movie. And you don't have to be a fan of comic books or anything like that. You can go into this movie and you will just be blown away and amazed on this movie.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, well, then everyone has their own opinions. But yeah, look, I'd definitely go out there this weekend or whenever this week. Go out and definitely go see it for sure. You won't be disappointed.
Okay, guys, thanks very much. That's been our Joker spoiler review, and we'll catch you next time we do a review.
See ya.